The Voice of Mail podcast takes voicemails from people just like you on trending topics, funny thoughts, or controversial points of view. Go to vomp.site or voiceofmail.com on almost any smart device and leave your awesome message. Damn it, Morty, I told you to stop messing around with those guys. No time for podcasts. There's a new gadget I want you to become one with. Be a part of testing. Oh, jeez. Why are you always getting me into these kinds of situations, Rick? Just shut up and get over here, Morty.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Voice of Mail podcast, the podcast series where you can send in your voicemails by going to our website, voiceofmail.com. Sending us a message on anything trending, topical, anything on your mind, anything at all. We give you the opportunity. Most of you don't. We don't know why. But those of you who do, who are regulars, we love you. So open invitation to anybody. Join the show. Join the website. And as always, every once in a while, I have my longest running podcasting partner for nearly a decade. You know him as the demon catface from hell, the catface killer, the old young boy. Welcome back to the show.
Man, that was so confusing. Am I old? Am I young?
Exactly. You are confusing. That's the point exactly I was trying to make. You're a confusing man. Cat.
Am I?
Cat face.
Okay.
Continue. Yes, yeah, I'm glad to be back. This is why I'm glad I can edit, so I can tighten this up. So here's your chance to speak, to welcome yourself back.
You always say that and then you don't edit.
I will this time. Go on, say your piece.
Well, it's been a while. It's been over a month now. I've been a bad student. I did not do my homework and not listen to the last episode. So if you ever have to refer back to it, like play a clip or something, because I didn't actually listen to it.
That's fine.
Been busy, been working a lot, been sick. It's the holidays. I'm a manual laborer, so there's always a bunch of work towards the holidays.
Yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Apparently, we're in December, and you know what? I do have to say, Catface, I think this is the last episode you're going to be on for 2018 because I got one more show with the other guys, and then I'm on a break, a long-deserved break. So, guys, send in your messages for Catface next time in 2019. That's the next time we'll be seeing him. But boy, oh boy, we got to just move on with the show. Have we got a voicemail? Actually, last time, you might not have listened to the last episode, but your voicemail was played. You were quite passionate about the little girl. And Nuance,
I forgot.
Well, this week, Nuance decided to put her 2 pence in because she's not happy as well. And why don't we react to what she's got to say? And then Nuance has got another piece he wants to put on about the sexual ghost lady. But you know what? Let's just play the voicemails one by one, and then we'll react to them. Let's do
it. Let's see how angry she is at me.
Hi guys, this is Nuance Day here. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, right. December is not my favorite month, right? I'm not a December person. And I try to stay very zen, in December. But I have listened to the last 2 episodes back to back. Actually, I'm only 20 minutes into your last episode and I'm already in flames. I'm flaming, I didn't even want to talk about the lotto winner, female lotto girl who now has decided she's going to use her riches. And when I heard my kitty cat flaming her, I was already like, yes, that's taken away some of my attention, All I'm going to say about that is the fact that that girl needs counselling. She needs to figure something out for herself, because these issues that she's talking about, dating one man and it didn't go right, dating another man and that didn't go well, that just seems like normal life to me. We all going through that. So I don't understand why she's talking about that's got to do with her money. All you need to do is not let people know that you've got money. That's all you need to do. I don't understand what the big deal is. You don't have to tell people I won the lottery. You don't have to show your riches. And to be fair, how much did you say she won? $1 million? That's not even real money. I could spend that in a week. For real. After I buy a house in London, and I buy a new car and put my son in private school, money done. So it's not even that big a deal if that's what she won, So that's number one. She needs counselling, because I don't understand how a man can kiss another woman in front of your face and him and the other woman still survive. Yeah, I don't see how that any of those relationships are viable.
Okay, let me pause it because she's gonna get to the second part of the voicemail. Look, you, Stanley, you want to say all jumping on this girl with a lot of money, make it look. I think she's putting her money to good use. You know, we can criticize as much as we like about the, you know, does the end justify the means? You know, is it actually gonna work? But shit, man, why not? you guys are really harsh on this lady.
Do you really want to say why not? Because there's like a million other things she could do with the money that's more useful to the world or herself, even.
Yeah, well, you know, she's obviously not that kind of type of person, but you know, love seems to be the most important thing in her life. She's looking for love. She wants to be happy with romance, and you know,
are you sure that's what her motivations are?
I don't know what her motivations are. I just don't think you guys are very. I understand and I agree with what you guys are saying, but isn't there any a monicum of sympathy there for this lady? You know,
I find it really hard to give sympathy for somebody who appears to be doing like having ulterior motives. Like that's the best way to put it. Well, like the shortest best way to put it.
Well, that's what Stanley said as well. So again, this is gonna go on for 3 podcasts. So you had your say. You had to say, you know, obviously the female perspective is obviously welcome, so I'm glad you honestly spoken it. Most people, you'd read the YouTube comments or the news comments on this, people were just like, sport bitch, she's got a lot of money, she could be just happy, why is she so focused on love, all of that and the above. I still think, yeah, what she's doing is a bit of a publicity stunt, doing this boyfriend competition or whatever you want to call it, which again, full disclosure, I applied to for the lol.
Good luck. Hey, if you make it though, maybe our show will take off.
Well, that's what I said, guys. I mean, if I even get on the show, the Netflix documentary, whatever documentary it's going to be, it's good advertisement for the show, you know. And I don't think I'm going to get that far, but you know, God forbid it actually happens though.
You never know. I mean, just you know, my only advice: be different. I mean, you're going to be different probably than most of the guys that are applying.
You're damn right. You see,
play your straight.
Yeah, we're both not saying what the obvious point of that is, but let's move on to the next part of her voicemail because I want to move on to the newer story, which is obviously the ghost lady. Everyone's kind of talking about it. Well, it's not trending news, but I got a few voicemails, but I'm gonna let Nuance take this up again because she has something to say about this ghost lady and ghost affair, ghost marriage, ghost whatever you want to call it. I know you got something to say as well. So let's hear Nuance say, and then I'm gonna let you take the first shot after that.
Now you're gonna talk to me about this ghost bitch situation. Now let me tell you something, yeah. Each to his own, mostly, yeah. Each to his own. Now people saying they're having sex with ghosts, yeah. And this ain't no anime or hentai situation. And you know what? Jesse, you've been talking way too much about your sexual escapades. Yeah, you're giving people, we're starting to color in what you like.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'm just going to put that to the side anyway. Yeah.
What?
Ultimately, you're fucking ghost now. Yeah. What kind of ghost you find in the bush? In the bush in Australia. Now you're fucking bush ghost. Yeah. That's what you're fucking. And this ghost that you found in the bush can travel to the point where it can get on a plane with you. Don't need no visa, ghost, yeah? Can get on the train, get on the plane with you. That's how much I'm flaming, yeah? That I'm so confused. Get on the plane with you and travel to your yard and then supposedly like bang you on the plane too. What kind of ghost is that? Is that how bad it is that now you can't even find regular ghosts? You got to go bush. You got to go to half the way across the world and find bush ghost and marry that. And I just wanted to know, yeah, how do you break up with a ghost? Because you were saying that she met her ex-partner in a haunted house. So was he haunting that house when she met him? And how do you actually break up with a ghost? Because these ghosts seem like they're serious, yeah? Even if I believe this bullshit, out of all the people out of all the spirits or things you want to deal with, you want to deal with something that can follow you anywhere, that you can't block, you know, that you can't move country to get rid of. So now this ghost, yeah, this bush ghost that she's married, is she still living in her ex-ghost's house? You know, can that ghost, it's just too confusing. I just don't understand. Why would you want this in your life? I really, really don't. You know, I'm I don't appreciate this, guys. It's a hard month for me, yeah. And I'm already trying to meditate more. These stories are seriously for the birds. It is already hard for us women. I don't care what color you are. We don't need to hear this bullshit, yeah? One needs counseling, and what one needs, I don't even know what the other one needs. Anyway, happy holidays, I guess. Or you might hear from me again when I finish listening to the rest of this pod.
Okay, and let's give Nuance a nice round of applause for that. The very long,
very
long,
passionate. Yeah,
very passionate, ranty voicemail about this ghost lady. Yeah, you know, I'll take one of the things she said out of that. To each his own, to each her own, or whatever you want to call it. You know what? Oh, well, let me let you have the floor first. What do you think about this ghost lady situation? What do you have to say on this?
All right, so just so you guys know, I actually don't know anything about this story other than it's a trending topic, and apparently this lady married a ghost in international waters. Like, that's all I know about it, because I asked earlier today while I was at work, I asked my fiance, hey, can you send me like a bunch of trending topics and stuff that you find interesting so I can talk about it later? Based off of what she was saying, I can gather a little bit more. I can make a comment about this because I've known people who are mentally ill, specifically paranoid schizophrenia. And one of the ways that a person has described the voices they hear in their head as ghosts. And they also mentioned like their voice will change. And they mentioned like a different ghost is possessing them. So it's possible, like, if there's not a bunch of hooky mooky on their part, it's like legit, that's how they feel. It's possible that it's just something going on in their head, like they have a chemical imbalance in their head, and what they're believing is real to them. That being said, like the online dating gal, lottery gal, if she's not mentally ill, then she's just, I don't know, like, did she get a lot of attention from this or something? Because I'm not understanding the motivation.
Like I said, neither do I per se. We're not rich. They say money can do.
This lady's rich too?
No, not this lady. So
okay.
you said a lot of girls. I thought you changed the subject, but this, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. I take it in jest, like, obviously everyone's like, why are you so lax about it? Why are you that passionate? Because I'm like, yeah, to each his own, man. There's so many. I said this on the last podcast. I've heard people say they're trans ghosts. They identify as a ghost. They identify as a child. They identify as animals. They identify as a brick. This world.
A brick? Do you know somebody that identifies as a brick?
Yeah, if you TLC, the Learning Channel, they have this strange, I forgot what the series is called, My Identity or something like that, where they talk about people identifying as just it's just, and the last episode we was called Trans Knackered, because I am just tired of people calling themselves everything. But, you can't be closed-minded. You just got to let people be what they want to be. That's the kind of world we live in today. Whether I respect it or not, understand it or not, it's just like, you know what? But you know what? I'm not stopping you guys I'm not even trying to be in the middle PC. Like, I better not say anything. If it pisses me off, I'm going to say it. These two, the lottery girl and this ghost woman, the ghost woman's hilarious to me, to be perfectly honest with you. That shit's funny. She's being fucked by ghosts, and she married the ghost, and she's having affairs with ghosts. It's just, like I said, I don't even think it's worth sacrificing any shred of credibility, even in your own field, because she's a medium anyway. I'm like, if your job is to contact the other realm, right, for other people, and then you're having sex with them, I mean, even as a job, isn't that going to hurt your credibility a little bit? Like, you're going to have an affair with someone's dead husband. I don't want to go too deep into it.
Yeah, that's all sorts of like super big no-nos.
I'm just saying, no-nos. Even in her own niche of what she's doing as a profession, how is this helping you? How is making this public helping you? That's what I mean, even if it's true for you, making this public isn't good for your business. You know what I mean? No one's going to come to you as a ghost whisperer if you're having affairs with these fucking ghosts. It's insane. So, but I'm not going to lose my shit over this. So anyway, let's move on.
Here's my question. Any question on that?
Go on.
If this was a dude, would this be an awesome story, or would this still be like, what the fuck is going on with this guy?
Yo, this guy would be getting run the fuck. It'll be like, wow, this guy can't get no women. He's just, I mean, people like, get a doll, get a fleshlight, a ghost. I mean, I think what you said is an interesting question, because I think the perception, people would be treating it differently, because she's getting mocked in a different way. But if it was a guy, people might even call him a creep. I don't know. I do
that's
think
a good point. Yeah.
I do think they would treat it differently if it was a man, though. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that in any defensive way that, oh my God, look, they're being easy on her because she's a woman. No, I don't. I think it's fucked up and weird, however way you slice it. But I agree with you. We would be looking at this differently if this was a man. But then again, men are, see, I'm generalizing. Men are cast as weirdos. They do crazy shit. So maybe this wouldn't even be as crazy. Or why are you bringing up a man doing some crazy shit? Nice fucking ghost. Who cares? But for a woman,
it's just normal.
And I'm just saying that for men doing crazy shit, it's like the norm. For women, this is more of an outlier, isn't it? So, to me, that's how I see it.
Okay.
So anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Even you want to say you can't let this shit go. I should have started with a news story, but this is our major story for today. It's kind of world news. It happened a couple of days ago, or from the time of this recording, a week ago, I would say, to be honest with you. And boy, genetic manipulation.
Genetic manipulation. Okay.
It's here, man.
It's been here for a while, but I mean, I'm assuming you're saying this because we're going through a scary door now.
I'm going to play the story. It's a 5-minute clip, and it's Philip DeFranco. He's a bit of a fast talker. He's a Californian. I don't know why you Americans complain about this guy speaking so fast. You should be used to this. Us British guys have to adjust to his speaking tone, his speaking tempo. But Philip DeFranco covered this really well. I took a clip from his show. It's about 5 minutes. It goes through. I even cut it down because it was 10 minutes. Very interesting.
I got tired of listening to that guy on the show.
Oh, thanks. But still, he curates the news in a very good way. And there's not a lot of other people I can get the video clips from in this much depth. So I have to give DeFranco his props. Listen to this story and it's the implications. Well, we'll see what old boy thinks about the implications. And that's why I'm interested to have you on. We speak about anime and manga, and we speak about a lot of fiction. Well, the fiction and the future is fucking here.
And then let's talk about this story involving a Chinese scientist by the name of He Jiankui. Last Monday, he announced that he edited the DNA of human embryos to prevent them from contracting HIV. He said the twins, Luna and Nana, were delivered successfully a few weeks ago, and if true, this would make them the world's first ever genetically edited babies. The experiment was publicized through a video posted online by the scientist on his YouTube channel, the He Lab. And according to the scientist, in this experiment, embryos from 7 couples who underwent in vitro fertilization had been edited. The description of the project on the Chinese clinical trial registry says that He created embryos from couples with an HIV-infected father. He then allegedly used a tool that can make targeted cuts to DNA called the CRISPR-Cas9, which he says he used to remove the gene CCR5, which would prevent HIV from infecting cells. And at the time, he said that so far his experiment had resulted in 1 successful pregnancy. But this controversial experiment announcement was quickly met with a ton of backlash from scientists worldwide. This news came out just before the 2nd International Summit on Human Genome Editing in Hong Kong, an event that is dedicated to discussing the emerging science and ethics around tools that give scientists new potential to alter traits and eliminate genetic diseases. This topic and these conversations have been important to a lot of people because these new powerful tools have raised concerns over the creation of designer babies. Right? Editing the DNA of human embryos would allow scientists to not only change the genes of an individual, but that of their future offspring, meaning that you could effectively change the human species as we know it. The last summit was held in 2015, and the scientists who organized the meeting closed with a statement calling it irresponsible to proceed with editing human embryos until there is a broad societal consensus about the appropriateness of any proposed use. And adding, while each nation ultimately has the authority to regulate activities under its jurisdiction, the human genome is shared among all nations. Which, on the note of legality, editing the genes of embryos intended for pregnancy is actually banned in most countries. For instance, the United States prohibits federal dollars from funding research into genetically editing embryos. And so scientists were pretty stunned to hear that this experiment had taken place, since it's still unknown whether the procedure is actually safe or whether it could have unintended consequences for the babies later in life or for future generations. Joyce Harper, a professor in genetics and human embryology, said that this research was premature, dangerous, and irresponsible, and she called for public debate and legislation, saying, quote, "Before this procedure comes anywhere near clinical practice, we need years of work to show that meddling with the genome of the embryo is not going to cause harm to the future person." However, in a series of YouTube videos, He said that his experiment worked and that the gene editing hadn't made any unintentional changes to the children's DNA. But scientists believe that it is impossible for him to make that claim, since the twins could be affected in ways that no one fully understands. And in fact, scientists say that by eliminating the gene CCR5, he has likely made the girls more susceptible to other viruses. Scientists also felt that the use of this technology was a huge ethical issue, since there are other ways to prevent HIV transmission to a fetus. And some feel feel that the first application of gene editing should be reserved for diseases that are deadly and have no treatment option. And so many arguing HIV is not a high priority and isn't worth the other risks introduced by this experimental procedure. Also, on top of the ethical issues behind gene editing, the study has also been criticized for its unconventional release. The news was announced with no supporting data provided to verify the claims and has not been vetted by other experts in a traditional peer review process. And in this particular situation, according to the Associated Press, He provided them with some of his research material, which they allowed several scientists to review. And the AP reported that the scientists said, quote, "Tests so far are insufficient to say the editing worked or to rule out harm." They also noted evidence that the editing was incomplete and that at least one twin appears to be a patchwork of cells with various changes. The founder and director of Scripps Research Translation Institute spoke about the study saying, quote, "Here you have a scientist changing the human race and you have a YouTube video about it with no scientific paper. It's just almost surreal." Adding, "This guy must have just remarkable chutzpah to proceed." Basically, for the first time in history, he has used this powerful tool in a reckless way for no good reason. But main point, this is released, and then last week we saw 120 Chinese scientists call the experiment crazy in a letter condemning the study, also calling it a huge blow to the global reputation of Chinese science, and added, "Pandora's box has been opened. We still might have a glimmer of hope to close it before it's too late." And the university said in a statement that it would be investigating the experiment and added that it seriously violated academic ethics and codes of conduct. Also saying the researcher has been put on unpaid leave since February and also tried to distance themselves by adding the research was conducted outside of the campus and was not reported to the university nor the department. The university and the department were unaware of the research project and its nature. Also last Thursday, we saw China's government order that He and his team halt their work on gene-edited babies, saying this brazenly violated Chinese laws and regulations and breached the science ethics bottom line. And as far as what they might do, they have not announced actions against He right now. They said they're still investigating. But here's the thing. Reports have come out saying that the scientist hasn't been seen since his appearance at the summit. And some of the early reports suggest that he might have been brought back to Shenzhen by the university president and was put on house arrest on the campus. But officially, the university has denied those claims. So as of now, no one knows where this guy is. So obviously, we'll be keeping an eye out for this. But with this story, I did want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts around gene editing? And specifically, I want to talk about just the ethics of should it be a thing.
There it is, man. There's the story. I hope you can understand why I made this to turn in the focal point of this podcast, because this conversation is blown up, and I'll get a little bit more into the darker bits of what I found online about this. But I want your initial reaction to this first of all.
Okay, well, the good news is actually I'm aware of this story and I've heard it on the radio a bit, so I know a little bit. The first thing is there's no mystery about where this guy is. The Chinese government has him. Like, it's a Chinese government, okay? They disappear people.
Yeah.
So that's where he is. Don't wonder where he is. That's where he is. They have him.
Okay.
He didn't slip off the face of the earth. He's in a dark hole because of the Chinese government.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different things. I have to kind of temper the things I want to say because I don't have all the information I want to draw the conclusions completely that I want.
Have an opinion.
I can have an opinion, and I want people to understand these are opinions based off of what I can, collectively understand. Deduce from what's been given to me. I'm not saying like because this is true, this is how it is, or this is how it should be. It's just an opinion, okay? So the first problem I have with like this whole thing, like the ethics, oh my God, ethics. Don't get me started on this funny word, with our world community. I find it strange. It's okay to genetically modify plants and animals, but once you get to humans, there's a big fucking problem.
Yeah.
This is like there either is a problem with playing God or there isn't. Like the end. You're afraid we're gonna wipe out the human race by playing with the genetics? There's like 7 fucking billion of us. Fuck off, okay? So the other thing is, when it comes to what this guy actually did, which is he conducted his own thing, his own experiments, his own research. He doesn't have any papers to back it up. He doesn't have any academia other than YouTube videos and claims of he was successful, which like the guy you love to death in his video said, there's actually no way to prove that he was successful until later on down the road. Like, it's great. He thinks he's successful because they didn't die. Yeah. Okay, they didn't die, but it doesn't mean that they're immune to HIV until like they've lived an entire life cycle being bombarded by HIV and they didn't get HIV. That's how you know you were successful. Not, oh, they lived. Yes, I was right. No, they just lived, dude. Yeah. Okay, so that's the thing. I don't think the guy cured HIV by doing whatever the fuck he did. Is it possible? Sure, because I don't know anything this guy did. Nobody knows what this guy did because he has no notes or papers to show for what he did. All you have is a claim and a baby that lived.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how I feel about that. Like in a very short nutshell, I have more to say, but
Well,
I think those are kind of like the key points.
Let me clear up something you're saying there. So, because I was listening to you, but I got confused on something. So, the moral aspect of him doing it, you don't think is a problem?
I find it strange that it's a problem when it's done to humans, but it's not a problem when it's done to plants or animals.
Hypocrisy.
And just so you know,
Yeah.
I don't think we should be playing God with any of this shit. Like, I don't think we should be dicking around. This is how you create the fucking mutant apocalypse, okay?
Exactly.
With like not the cool X-Men mutants, like melted people mutants, like the Cronenberg shit from Rick and Morty.
No, not just that. Your favorite, genre, the zombie apocalypse genre.
That's not how you create zombie. First of all, okay, this is getting off topic. Just like 30 seconds. You think one or more governments have not tried and successfully made like zombies? You're fucking insane. Okay?
No,
they have money to burn. They've done it.
Biological
the other thing
weapons.
Is, this is not. I'm not even talking about biological weapons. I'm just talking specifically trying to create something that comes back to life after it dies, and you can use it as a soldier, a foot soldier. Okay. The other thing is, this is not how you create zombies. You don't create zombies by dicking around with the fucking DNA. You try to find some other kind of stimulus to bring them back to life. You don't start editing what a person is. You start creating a whole different thing, which can lead several generations down, even the next generation, for as far as you can tell, if they start breeding, could create like this whole different type of monster scenario. That's what genetics are. You know how long genetics have been in human history? Genetic manipulation started out with dog breeding. So how long have we had dogs as faithful companions? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've been experimenting with genetics, and to me, like, breeding is okay. Like, it's not like you're going in there and you're changing the coding of an animal. You're letting selective breeding, basically. You're letting the traits that you want to continue on down the line, and if they work out, they work out. If they don't, they don't. But once you start dicking around and moving around your Lego blocks of DNA, you're all of a sudden changing what the thing is drastically and very quickly.
I will let you continue on. I just want to jump in and say one of the reasons why this has been so controversial is because he wasn't really substantiated. He said he knew what he was doing, but he didn't. He did release his papers of what he did publicly. A lot of people didn't even know that the tool he used to edit the genes was even available. You see, this is the same thing as a 3D printed gun. Like, apparently, and I didn't look too much into it, the tool isn't some unique tool. It's something that can be made.
Oh, so he made this like himself, and then he just went about his business.
It's not the most easiest thing to make, but it isn't like it's not like plutonium. Do you know what I mean? It's something that can be made, and he's given the blueprint on how to do it. And that's why there's a lot of people worried. That's why this is about a Pandora's box, because he's giving people the idea, I've done it. This is possible. There's already talk about the black market doing these things. And, you watch that movie. One of my favorite movies is Gattaca, about Ethan Hawke in the future, where people, were genetically making babies to improve humans. Not just about making sure you can't get diseases, but also enhancing humans as well, making them stronger, smarter, stuff like that. And this is opening the door for people to fuck with human genes and start doing madness, where you might start hearing that somewhere in fucking Germany, scientists are using this tool this guy used, or they copied it, or they took his research and went in a whole different direction, and all this madness starts. This is the Pandora's box that people are worried about, and this is obviously why the scientific community are condemning it. But here's my thing: when I hear this story, I'm like, here's the thing with innovation. It's when, just like if you go to World War II and the bombs and weapons like that, it's someone's always starts it, and whoever starts it is always condemned, because there's people do a lot of this shit in secret when it comes to weapons and stuff like this. So to me, this is always how new technology is developed. Somebody starts it, someone lets it out of the bag. Usually it's governments. It is this guy coming on his own is more of a representation of how open technology is. The fact he went on fucking YouTube and I took the clip out. They put the clip in the video there. He's got a YouTube channel. It's still up, where he goes through the whole thing and he defends himself and talks about it. And I'm just like, you see, this is the communication age we're living in. It makes it dangerous. Just same thing with the guy with the 3D printed gun, putting the shit out there. Now that guy's for profit. So he, selling, well, I think, no, he actually put it online for free as well. But I'm just more like, yeah, I understand people are worried, but to me, this is unfortunately how technological advancement seems to happen historically. There's always a government it starts somewhere. It does. And I know people are scared, but unfortunately, it was bound to happen. Like, me and you already knew that. You always heard that people were doing genetic testing out there. The human race is becoming so intellectually even. I mean, in the Western world, we share information on the internet so widely. I'm not surprised that some they're calling him a mad scientist. Some guys like, you know what, I did it, I put it out there, have at it. And now the whole medical, institutions losing their shit. China looks bad. Obviously, like you said, they obviously scooped the guy. They took him and put him in the hole, scooped. But the cat's out of the bag for the most part. And there's a lot of talk about what he's put out there is already being replicated, and we might hear some really crazy shit coming down the line.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, for me, you're a scientist. There's like this whole scientific process. It's not just about your notes. You have to have other people checking your shit too.
Yeah.
Like, did he have a team, or did he do this like 100% by himself?
It sounds like he did it by himself. And by the way, he's been doing it for a year. This isn't just like
for 1 year.
Yeah, he's been in it for a year. He's been obviously the pregnancy. He's been working with the parents, that 2 sets of parents, for a year. They've been doing this in secret. And now that the baby's been born, that's why he waited. He waited until the baby's born to say, guys, I've done it. Here's my. Obviously, he didn't wait 25 years until the kid was 25, so he can really say, hey, I've been watching this kid for a year, and now for 25 years, and now we can see a generation. He ain't got AIDS. He's like, nah, I just want to let the cat out of the bag quickly. And he's probably never going to be seen again.
No, he's gone. He's never coming back.
But he's going to be in the history books. Like they say,
yeah, he'll definitely be in the history books. Yeah,
he's the first official guy to do, severe genetic editing. And again, a lot of people are saying that gene strand he took out, it has ramifications. That they might not be able to catch HIV because the gene can't accept it, but the gene's, so complicated that there could be unforeseen effects that blah, 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 blah. I know it's a very
things you would never even imagine. Like, our understanding of genetics is extremely limited. Like, something silly like, oh, I want to change this guy's lineage from having black hair to red hair.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it'll cause all these different health problems and shit down the road because, like, you wouldn't imagine it. But the coding and the DNA that connects that result versus the other result, very different. Like, it can have a very different impact on the rest of the genome sequencing.
Does this interest you? We speak about anime. We've seen this in fiction, these kind of stories, genetic manipulation. Obviously, now we know in science, we talk about phones and computers a lot, but this is biology and science, the human biology that we're messing with as well. Does this actually scare you? Do you see any positives to this, or do you just think this is going down a dark road, and the government should have really kept this on lock and kept this guy down, and
Well, first of all, you're asking me to put faith in any government for anything.
I know
you don't know me. Like,
no,
I hate all governments, not just our government. Fuck that.
Okay,
all governments are all
regarding science, do you think that even with science, because science is very dangerous, do you think that should be open and free as well? Because you and this guy are probably in agreement then, because that's why he put this shit out there to share with everyone.
I think science is both a very beautiful, wonderful, and terrifying thing. I think I can see the dream of it, a world where whatever kind of baby we want to have, the looks, the health, different attributes, before they're born, we can predetermine it. And that's a wonderful world where everybody has access to this. You know what else is a wonderful world? Everybody having access to internet, education, all that stuff. There's so many other things that need to come before that.
Sure.
But yeah, there is a beautiful dream for it. In the world we live in, I see the more terrifying one, which is where governments that, not even China necessarily, just other governments are like, pick that up, and now they're going to do whatever the fuck they want with it. And, the rest of the world, like the 90-95% of the world nations or whatever can be on their high moral ground while these other guys are dicking around doing this devil's work and creating monstrosities. That's much more likely to me based on where we are with all other facets of humanity. I would love the dream to come true, especially during my lifetime. I would love that. But it's hard to see that when there's so much other evil stuff going on.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So we're going to move on, guys. I know this is a very sciencey, but it is kind of world news, and they're trying to keep it because there's a lot of conspiracy theories about this now. Obviously, especially about a device he used. That's like the main thing people are looking at. What the hell did he use? People are surprised he had access to make that tool. They're trying to find out how to do it. They're trying to reverse engineer it, make their own. It's like I feel like it's I don't want to call it another arms race, but people are like, wow, this could be awesome if we could genetically make someone, perfect this tool. You never know what could happen. 25 years, we might be having a different conversation where this was the root cause of this whole thing, So just want to get ahead of something 25 years before.
If we live that long.
Hey, god damn it, don't say that. Well, cats do have 9 lives though, so luck in it. Or 9 times 14 years? Cats have 14 years lives?
No, I mean the average cat, I guess that's pretty old for them, but some cats live until like they're 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah, well, anyway, let's move on. People are like, skip. That story might have just got a massive skip, but I think it's a very important story. So, and I'm glad that the cat face here gave his opinion on it. And I just find it funny as fiction fans and as anime manga fans. I've seen this in so many storylines, and now I'm living in the future where this is happening on the very beginnings of it, but I'm just like, I would have never thought this was real. But, science and technology just...
Yeah, it's getting to that point.
Anyway, let's move on to our next voicemail, which is from our star voicemailer, Tikun, the Unusual Wordsmith. She's got an interesting thing that this is something that has been passed around in the last couple of years, but it's come up again in this, people say, SJW world, and people always want to argue or get triggered about something. So let's see what Tikun's got to say, and then we're going to talk about it, because this one is something that actually amused me, or bemused me. Let's find out.
Hey, Mon Crew, Tikun here, and just wondering if you guys have been keeping track or have noticed the weird kind of blog posts and stuff that have been popping up lately, pointing out that certain holiday specials are a bit not appropriate for a viewing audience. The first one I think that got marked down was around last month was Charlie Brown, and then since December has started, most Christmas specials have been targeted. It's been mostly the Reichenbash ones so far, and it's just like, I know a Christmas Story has also been struck too, and I'm just wondering if you guys have been hearing this news, and are there any certain Christmas specials that you guys have watched, or any holiday special you guys are aware of that you think are pretty much marked as a soon to be on their hit list soon? Because honestly, this is like just weird BS that they're spouting off about it. But your thoughts on this, given forward, and with that said, happy holidays and take care.
Happy holidays to you, Tikun, the Unusual Wordsmith, one of our favorites. So, have you noticed there's been this trend of, I don't want to say millennials, but people going back and watching old TV shows, old specials, and making lists about how problematic they are and how they're, politically incorrect and how horrible they are. Even the most beloved classics like Charlie Brown we're going to get into. But before that, have you noticed any of those headlines?
Are you talking specifically about Christmas holiday specials?
Well, not specials in particular. It's old media. Let's just go.
It's old media. Yeah. Then as the years have gone by, like the last few years, yeah, it's been having more and more. I feel like we live in a culture of outrage. Constant outrage is just very tiresome. When we talk about the Charlie Brown one, I'll address that a bit more, but I've noticed a change.
Okay, well, I'm going to reference something. There's this video, H3 Productions, one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. He did a video where he said the Fine Brothers have gone too far, because the Fine Brothers had this series called now Does It Age Well? And obviously a series that's kind of always under scrutiny nowadays. I think I've seen this series been taken down a lot more in pop culture. Seinfeld. Now, were you a fan of Seinfeld, the show?
Unfortunately not.
Were you ever acquainted with it, even in the general sense?
The only thing I know about Seinfeld really is the guy from Jurassic Park is on it that got spat on by the dinosaur. One of the main character actors did a stand-up where he got kind of racist.
Ah, yes, of course. That's the one, yeah. Did you ever watch an episode of Seinfeld?
I might have, but I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember. Fair enough. So Seinfeld is about 4 people that people call them psychopaths, but in a very, very light way. They do horrible things to horrible people. And the Fine Brothers, this channel where, have you seen that channel on YouTube? Kids react to 90s cartoons. Kids react to old video games. Yay! It's a big
You already know how I fucking hate reaction videos, so no, I would
Okay.
not watch a channel of that specifically.
It was one of the most heavily advertised channels on YouTube. Anyway, their new show, doesn't age well. They show Seinfeld, and they just I'm not gonna lie, the jokes they picked were the most, I don't want to say egregious, but they were bad. Like I think there was an episode where Jerry Seinfeld brought this Indian statue to a Native American woman, and then he was playing with Hundahada, and I'm like, of course, today that would be, top of Twitter stream, blowing up, racist, that, another, but people thought it was funny. There was another episode where this girl had a wicked toy collection, like of action heroes, and and he wanted to play with it, but the girl wouldn't let him, so he went in her bathroom, opened up her cupboard, and he saw there was sleeping pills, so he drugged her to play with her toys.
The grown-ass man drugged her, or like another kid drugged her?
No, the main character, Jerry Seinfeld. The main character, Seinfeld. He drugged this girl, this woman he was dating, because she wouldn't let him play with her father's toys.
Weird, okay. That's
Yeah.
That's probably pretty not PC nowadays.
Of course, you can see how bad, and they were just, this is so horrible, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so bringing it back to Tico, and there's a whole trend of people bringing up shows and our friends, they're all rich and white, and there's no black people. They do this a lot. They're going back, So with this Christmas special, bringing up Charlie Brown in particular, I played you the clip because you need to see I've seen this particular episode. This Charlie Brown one is the one it comes up every 3 years. I've seen this like years ago. Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is one of the most and Christmas special. Charlie Brown had these special episodes that are very beloved. And in this Thanksgiving special, Charlie Brown makes his mock dinner with the food's rubbish. But there's a shot of them having dinner in the garden, and all of the white characters are basically on the other side of the table and on the ends, and the only black character in the whole of Charlie Brown is on his own in the middle of the table, just sitting there. And, the optics don't look good. I think this was made in the 70s, by the way, so you could tell. But before we talk about it, let me play the clip of someone reacting to it very briefly, and then we'll pick up. And there's a reason why I'm going to play this. Well, just to break the monotony of my voice, to be honest with you. But let's pick up from it after this.
All right, I'm not going to be reading this article because we're gonna try to get to the bottom of this. But Charlie Brown Thanksgiving viewers were upset by a racist scene. Now, if you're not familiar with the racist Thanksgiving scene, here it is. You have the character of Franklin. He's the only black person there. And do you see anything wrong with this picture? Is there something wrong? Does it seem a little uneven? Because I have to admit that why? I don't know. Like, why would they put Franklin by himself? Why does Franklin have to sit by himself? And I don't understand. I don't get it. Some people have pointed out that he's sitting in a lawn chair too. Why does everybody else get these chairs? It looks like, I don't know who this character is, but she's got one of those fold-out chairs. But why does Franklin get a lawn chair? I guess I'm not... my biggest question is just why does Franklin have to sit alone?
Did you ever see this episode of Peanuts?
I've not.
Okay. So what do you think of this whole thing? You saw the clips. You've seen the picture. It's not taken out of context. It just is what it is. So what do you think of this on your first viewing?
This is how I feel about it. And keep in mind, I've not seen the whole thing. So like, if there was a trend in the entire special, I might have a different answer. But the dude just wants to sit by himself, probably. I mean, like, I feel like people are kind of making a bigger deal about this than it is. It's different than like if during the whole episode this guy's always separated from everybody else and like excluded from shit.
Yeah.
Then that picture would kind of epitomize some real racism going on there. But like, there's been plenty of times where I was the only minority in my group, and I just felt like sitting by myself. Like, why do I have to sit next to somebody? Why do I have to do that?
Yeah.
Just let me sit where the fuck I want to sit.
Yeah.
He's in a lawn chair. Maybe the guy likes to relax. But that being said, that being said, like when I look at it, it does look a little bad. But like is it inherently racist? It's only racist if there was stuff to make it racist. Like him just sitting by himself isn't racist.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I gotta be honest, and this is coming from a black guy. When I saw it back in the day, I just thought it was odd. I never really, obviously I was much young, I didn't really think much of it. Looking at it now, honestly, every time I look at it, it just makes me laugh. It genuinely is, because it's just odd. I don't think it's racist, but when you watch the whole episode, you know, Charlie Brown can't even get the food to do the Christmas thing properly. And when they're sitting there and he's on his own, and it's such a crowded table as well, you got people sitting on both ends of the table and all the other, and looking at it now, it's just like, why? Just crowded. He doesn't say anything about it. Everyone's watched it, everyone's analyzed it. He doesn't say I want to sit on my own or anything like that. It's just really, it's weird. And to me, it's not pointed or anything like that. So no, I don't think it's racist. I just think it's hilarious. I think it's odd. I don't know what, I don't know why that came about. It's very odd to do that, because even in real life, you would have to ask for that to happen. Even with children, you wouldn't get your way like that. So no matter how logical, I mean, and I don't want to think too much about it. I'm just saying there wouldn't be a scenario in my life I would think I could sit on the side of a kid's table on my own. It just don't think it would happen. Do you know what I mean? So to draw that, it's just like meh. But I think it's hilarious. I'm just like, that's some funny shit. Racist or not, are funny. But I will say this: people need to educate themselves, because the writer of Peanuts, is it Charles Korf? I can't remember, Charles something.
It's Charles Schultz.
Charles Schwartz, that's it. Thank you. You got the name wrong. He actually, the whole thing with him and that character, Franklin, was a massive thing, because actually black people petitioned. Peanuts was obviously a fully white cast of kids, and it was a comic strip, and there was never a black character in it. And there was a black, I think it was a black teacher that said that wrote a letter to him specifically saying, you know, I really think you should have a black character in, because, you know, and then he was thinking about it, and then basically that woman, that teacher, I think she got a couple more people to write letters in, so he considered it, and he put the character in. Then the news agents or the strip was like, we don't like this. Obviously they were very against it. They just didn't like that for whatever reason. And he made a stand. He said, you know what, it's my comic strip. I'm putting this character in. It makes sense to me. I agree with these people. And if you're not doing it, then you don't use my script. You don't use my strip. So he actually put a stand for the racial diversity. And to be perfectly blunt, he's a trendsetter, because at that time, I think it was the late 60s, 70s, when that character was introduced before the cartoon. The character was made before the cartoon. It was in the strip first, before the cartoon anyway. He got a lot of hate. He got a lot of racism against himself, against white people for doing that. So regardless of what people think, what he did, no matter how little it was or how you don't think it was enough, in context of the time, big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. So looking at this, I think it's funny. I think he did really well. I didn't even know that until researching it recently. I don't think it's racist. I think it's more just a weird thing, a weird oversight or whatever reason. Maybe he didn't want to sit on his own. But the fact that he had to fight to get the character in says that just throws the whole racist thing out of the picture.
Do you know when he made this special?
I think the special was made in the late, I'll look it up when we're talking, but I think it was made in the late 70s.
I was going to say, because like if it's around that time, then maybe he's just like, fuck these people. I'm going to make it so that you could see this guy. He's all by himself. He's there. Deal with it.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. But like, just looking at the picture, it does look kind of weird. Yeah. But something like that is like, unless the guy was like fucking in shackles or something, it's not inherently racist just for somebody to want to sit by themselves.
Well, and the bigger picture of what Tikon was saying was that, what do we think of people, making these think pieces, SJW pieces? Like, look at your old show. It was racist. Culture evolves. Of course, things weren't PC before. I mean, Friends used to take piss of gay people a lot.
Oh, Jesus, man. Have you ever seen the old Looney Tunes? Like,
yeah,
they
exactly.
have episodes where, like, they actually have an episode where Bugs Bunny fights Japanese people. It is super fucking racist.
It's propaganda.
Like,
it was propaganda.
It is propaganda. Yeah, it is propaganda. It's very racist propaganda. Yeah. It's just, cultures evolve, like you said. Like, times change. Like, yeah, look at how bad some of these things were. But we're not living in the past, are we? We're living in the now.
Exactly. So we should be celebrating how we've evolved rather than writing these things, because those things don't represent us in this time anyway. So it's dumb. Look how racist Charlie Brown was in the 70s. It's 2018. What does it matter now? There's people getting shot in the fucking back. In America right now, black people.
There's people getting shot in their own homes. They didn't even do anything wrong. Jesus. 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Oh my God, they were kind of racist. It was 50 fucking years ago.
Since you brought it up, because I was gonna bring this up, but since we had that talk about the guy getting shot in his own house, you keep hearing stories that top that. Did you hear about the black security guard who apprehended someone and the police killed him?
Jesus, man. Yes, I did. It's all over social media, all the bad stuff. This is why I can't listen to the news, dude, because it's just all this kind of crap.
Sure. So,
but yes, I did hear about that.
Point being, racism is alive and strong today in 2018. There's no need to go back to the 90s and the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. Guys, let's fight today's battles. Let's not worry about decades before, okay? This is pointless. But hey, what I do understand is a lot of these, journalism sites, they run a business, they need the hits, right? Just like you said, you avoid the social media because it's very reason. People want to make money, so they think they found a golden, oh, look at this, I'm going to go back and expose something, and I'm going to make you see this in a whole new light. And yeah, I'm a champion. I'm so intelligent.
That's not even the problem. The problem is this culture of outrage. Like, Jesus, chill out. Like, stop fucking being angry about everything all the time. And if you're going to be angry about it, do something to change it instead of complaining about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be like Nuance saying Catface, moaning about this lottery girl,
Giggity, giggity, goo. Oh, shit, man. I don't even know. Like, if I was single, I don't even think I would apply to that girl. It's just fuck that.
Tell her lighten the mood so you can move on.
Move on then.
Oh man, so damn. Hey, that was kind of sharp, old boy. Hey man, I didn't do nothing to you, man. Shit, I'm trying to make a show right here, guys. If you feel sorry for me, the Donald Wonder, send a voicemail into voicemail.com. Something trending topical.
You sound more like you're crying.
No, this is good enough. But guys, no, I know this has been already a top heavy show, but the Catface has got a story time for us. I think. Where's my story time music? Here it is.
Oh yeah, here we go.
You got a nice little story time for us, a story, Catface. So
I do. And you know what? For everybody, to make this even happier, this involves social media.
Oh boy! Wow.
Oh boy.
We just spoke about that. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I used to be a pretty heavy Pokemon Go player. That mobile phone game, you go places and there's like different things you can catch based off of where you are. So I was driving one of my friends from the game who was like 19 years old, so he didn't have his own car. And this guy, we're going to call him Promo. My friend Promo earlier got Snapchat bombed where one of my other friends just came up to him and was like, hey, how much ass do you eat? And he just like started going into a giggling fit, right?
Wow.
So he tried doing the same thing to me while I was driving. He's like, hey, how much ass you eat? And like, without even hesitating, like, me, I'm like the king of improv. So like, I didn't have to have any of this memorized. We were doing this thing. I don't know why, but we were doing this thing where we were constantly talking like Hulk Hogan, like, hey, brother. And we using brother all the time. You know what I'm saying, brother? And on the sense of brother. So we were doing that, all right, and I used that voice. I was like, oh yeah, I eat a lot of ass, brother. You know it. You know what? Doesn't even matter if it's man, woman, boy, child, girl. That area between the nutsack, asshole, taint.
I just learned something new about you, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like, it was a little bit longer than that, but maybe my friend will send in like a audio recording of that or something. He said like he's shown that to over 100 people, and they laugh their asses off. So it'd be great to have that on the show.
Yeah, it would be. For a laugh. We need a laugh right now. But carry on your story. Was that story time?
That's the end of the story, man. Short and sweet.
You and your wacky friends, boy, I tell you. Yeah. One day I might actually meet them in person. That was fun. And that was definitely lighter than what we just dealt with. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna move to the media section.
And, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? Since you've been on the show, I don't know if I've even asked you, what the hell are you watching?
Oh God.
Yeah, what the hell are you watching? And movies, cinema. I want a recommendation on something you're watching, even if you hate it. What's going on with you and your movies and TV shows?
Okay, so the first thing before I even get into what I'm doing, actually, my lady and I had this thing where we were talking like we should make a to watch list for each other to do together. Like
Nice.
must-sees of movies, and I guess television shows too, but it was specifically for movies. So we're gonna actually put my Twitter to use. I'm gonna make a list of movies by genre so that people don't fucking repeat themselves. And you have suggestions, give me like at least a few sentences why you think this movie is a must see, and send it in to me at @the_old boy on Twitter, or you can send it as a voicemail. I guess you can go up to 5 minutes long, but I mean, I'm not looking for a 5 minute reason why I should watch this movie. I mean, you got a recommendation to put it on our must see list? Send it in.
All right. Sound like a challenge.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. I'm challenging you all. Meet my challenge.
Have you already started on your fiance's list then, or?
Actually, we have. I saw Harold and Maude. It's like a bit of an older rom-com.
Is that the one about the young guy with the older lady?
Oh, you know it. Yeah, that's the one. She
I love
loves
it.
that movie.
It's a wicked,
It wasn't bad.
it's amazing
I thought it
movie.
was all right. Yeah, it's pretty all right.
Ending's very bittersweet, but yeah.
Yeah, the ending is bittersweet. Let me see what else.
Good taste, by the way. He's got good taste.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if we watched a whole lot that she. Oh, we saw Crash. Crash is a great movie too.
Wow, boy. Hold on, let me get this for you. That's one of the most hated movies. I think it won the Oscar, and people like hate it. They're forcing that goody two shoes message down your throat, and people just said it was very, very contrived. I liked it at the time. I liked it at the time. I understand why people think it's very forced. Don't get me wrong, but I think people just didn't like the fact that it won the Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel it was forced at all, but I guess everybody's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah.
Let me see. From my list,
I think we should go on YouTube and find out why Crash is trash. I think that's what we need to do.
Maybe I'll YouTube that for the next episode and be like, no. But
yeah. Apart from that, all right, let me just stop you there. Apart from that list, you're not watching anything new on television, anything recent. You just
dude, we're always watching TV. That's our main thing. This list is actually harder for us to do because we don't normally watch movies.
Of course, that's what I thought. Yeah, I know that.
Something I was pleasantly surprised by, and it's not on this must see list. We just started watching it because we hear about it all the time. You hear all this good stuff, fresh off the boat.
Oh my God.
especially if you're like an 80s child or a 90s child.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. Like I expected all the shortcomings of like I guess a diverse cast, if you want to call it that. This is about an Asian family in Orlando.
Yeah.
But it's just like you hear about that thing. I think about like Blackish, like what you're talking about with Blackish, or what was it? I still haven't even watched the second season. With this Empire, but there was that one thing. We saw the movie and then we saw the Netflix series.
Oh, Dear White People.
Dear White People. I was thinking like all that shit. No, man. It's like it's legit funny. And sometimes race, is kind of a part of the joke or whatever, or the setting, but it's not like ham-fisted. I mean, it just is, and then it's a funny comedy. So that's a great show. Watch that show.
It's very popular. People have loved that show for a while. I think you're late to the party on that show, actually. I never watched that much.
It does have 5 seasons, so I'm a little late. But I mean, in terms of recent-ish, I guess that's one of the more recent things for me.
No, that's fine. And I don't know if I told you this. I actually watched Dear White People season 2. Or I think I did tell you. I did tell you that, right? Before.
Did you say it got better?
It was good, but I think the first season was stronger, to be honest with you. But it was still good. I would say it's a consistent series, but it's one that will alienate a lot of people, like we said a million times before. So,
okay. Well, I mean, that's on my personal to-do list.
I'll give you one more before we get to the trailers, because we got a lot of trailer talk to do. So, go on.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of one that we actually watched, but maybe I'll just say one that we are going to watch.
Okay.
Huge Kurt Russell fan from when he was in his prime. So we got to watch the Escape movies. What else was there? Big Trouble in Little China we've both seen before. I wouldn't mind watching it again, though. Tombstone, arguably the greatest Western ever made. Yeah, Kurt Russell, just look him up and check out some of his cheesy movies.
Do me a favor, guys. Give Old Boy let's bring him out of the 80s. Give him some movies in this decade that are just underrated masterpieces. So you think that I don't mind it myself either, you know what I mean, because we do want them recommendations. We do that on this show as well. We're about to get into the trailer section, even though I do handpick the trailers, but I'm always very diverse. That's why I'm always surprising you guys. I think I gave Old Boy a good diverse pick today. We're going to get his opinion on these trailers, actually. And the first trailer being, let's take a look here. We have got Brightburn. Brightburn, you know what? We know what it's about. Let's watch the trailer, and then I want to hear the Catface Killer's thoughts. Have a quick listen.
Okay.
Who am I? You are a gift. I know it's been difficult for you lately that you feel different from other kids. You are different. After your dad and I got married, we prayed for a baby for so long.
Brightburn. People are calling it the Superman horror story or something like that. What did you think of this trailer?
I'm not gonna lie. I kept feeling like this is very possibly Superman ? But the name didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing like the kid having powers and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is like evil Superman. Okay. You know what it reminds me of a little bit is this is gonna be very amusing to some people. One of the only American comic series I ever read is called The Boys. And it's basically a world of superheroes, but the main good guy, quote unquote, group are bad guys.
The Boys?
The Boys.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and one of the main antagonists is basically Superman. So it made me kind of think of that because like the quote unquote good guys and the quote unquote bad guys are obviously they're not wholly good or bad guys in most cases. Although I would say the top tier superheroes that are supposed to be, represented as good guys, they're not good guys.
Okay.
So it kind of made me think of that. It's interesting. Would I ever see a superhero horror movie? I think I would give it a shot, and this one doesn't look terrible.
Yeah, I like it. I would watch it. It's like a bit of a novelty, and it's the guy, James Gunn, who got fired off Guardians of the Galaxy. This is his latest project, so people are very excited.
Doing a child movie. Imagine that.
Fun, yeah. Yeah. But people are very happy to support him with this one, and I think he's going to get a lot of buzz. It's interesting. It might be a novelty, to be honest with you, but is he really evil? I'm just wondering are they trying to mislead you when you go there? Maybe it's not what it seems, but it looks like they're just taking the typical Superman, Clark Kent, Smallville story, and they're going in a darker direction with it, which is very interesting. So yeah, as long as it's new and different, should be interesting watch. So all right, let's move on to the next trailer, which is called Dead or Your Money Back. I think that's a shorter version of the name, but let's see what old boy thinks about this one.
I think it's called Dead Within a Week or Your Money Back.
There you go. I shortened it down on the clip name, but let's have a listen. I definitely want to get old boy's opinion on this one.
Name?
William Morrison.
Address?
Flat 3, 27 Drake Street.
Reason for wanting death?
Do you ever wonder, what's the point of me? I think that all the time.
Have you really tried to kill yourself 7 times?
10. Count cries for help.
You couldn't be in better hands.
Great. I failed so many times I thought I'd outsource it.
Sorry, I was having a sandwich.
You're not what I imagined.
Meet many assassins, do you? An assassin is not just a man with a gun. We're not murderers, we're professionals.
I'm not quite dead.
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Raymond. I'll have another go.
At the end of the clip there. Whenever I'm with the guys here, in the UK and we're doing our podcast, I throw in a couple of British trailers. But, most trailers we watch are US because, international Hollywood, that's where, the big film industry is anyway. So, but I do want to throw you a couple because British films do make it stateside as well and they do pop. This one, to me, I was like, you know what? This is one I'll show to my US friends. All that. What did you think of it?
I think it looks funny. Like I would watch it if I saw like Netflix. I don't know if I go out to the theaters for it. But
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a simple story, not much to say. I like the concept. I think I've seen this kind of idea a little bit before, but it's obviously a dark comedy, but maybe the problem I had with the trailer is they showed you the whole movie in the trailer again.
Oh yeah, I mean that's gonna happen when you have a simple story.
Yeah, but I just wish they could have stopped at a certain point. But I know you guys only heard the trailer, but I'm looking forward to this one. And just like you said, it's a Netflix movie, 100% Netflix. I wouldn't be surprised when it comes stateside if it's already on Netflix or streaming, because I don't think this is getting a theatrical release overseas. But over here, I'll still wait for it to come on Netflix. So anyway, I get interesting trailers, guys. I don't just get trailers that are bombastic and superhero. I like interesting trailers. And in that regard, yes. Did you see Infinity War, by the way, Catface?
I have not. I am. The longer we go, the less my ratio for seeing superhero movies.
I know you've made it clear you're not really that interested. So they released the next trailer and it was such a nothing. I'm not even going to bring it up. That's why I never even told you to watch it. And anyway, since you haven't watched the last one, it kind of spoils what happened in the end. I'm sure you already know because everywhere spoke about it to death. So
yeah, I have a feeling like I know way more about the Marvel Universe storyline than I should, having not seen over half the movies, because there's so much fucking memes being posted all over people's social medias.
Exactly. So anyway, we'll move on, talk about memes. That's going to be the name of our last trailer, The American Meme, which is a Netflix documentary. Fun fact, guys, before we started the Voice of Mail podcast, one of the last projects me and Oboy did, we used to do monthly documentaries. That used to be one of our things. Who knows? We might bring it back as part of this show, But
I wouldn't hate it. Actually, I love that project.
Okay, well, there you go. I think we might have to include that again. It's not that hard. One documentary a month. We might do that. And you know what? Maybe on our revival, this might be the first one. Let's have a listen to The American Meme, the Netflix documentary.
I have over 50 million followers on all my social media platforms.
You could just pick up your phone and you could show your talent to the world.
Instantly, you could be a recognizable face.
Everyone can have a voice on any subject. Everyone can be famous now.
You're on a high, and the likes are like the audience clapping. That's how lonely we are, that we're going on here and seeking validation from strangers.
We love seeing the people that we think have everything get destroyed.
Privacy is dead.
I felt broken in my life.
I've never wanted to die more.
The end game for these people, I think, is going to be sad.
Age of the digital influencer, it's going to crash.
The age of the digital influencer is going to crash.
Man.
Yeah,
that's going to be us in a few years, right?
What's that?
That's going to be us in a few years, right?
That's going to be what for us, guys?
That's going to be us. Like those people.
Sorry. I completely misheard you, and I didn't get that, John. Let me give myself one of those.
Hey, whoa. Don't be so harsh on yourself, okay? It's okay.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the American Meme now. Look, I've spoken about my experience online with Planet Tyro as a content creator. The term digital influencer is, I guess, what this age is called. YouTube stars, gaming stars, people that have got massive followings that make a career of just them being a brand, and how it affects them and how it's affected the culture and how it's changing the landscape of pop culture in general. We can have a bigger discussion on that even without watching the documentary. Great name, great title for the documentary, amazing title. I thought it was great. Yeah, I like what I see. I can't wait to hear how they handle it, because from the trailer, it seems like they got a lot of people in the industry, the digital influence, talking about how they feel, which is good. The people that are involved should be speaking about it, because a lot of these, usually when you see newspapers talking about it, they always look down on YouTubers, like, these YouTubers are making 30K, but they're shitty people and all that. But it's better to hear it from the people that are the celebrity, that are talking about how they feel. And as they get older, like YouTube's been around for 10 years now, a lot of these content creators that are older, they're actually starting to talk about it from the inside, how they feel and how they don't feel fulfilled and all that other stuff. I can only tell you, Catface, I don't have that kind of success, but the little success I have had, the little feeling I've had from a high of getting followers and likes, it's affected me on such a, I've even felt a tiny touch of that, and it's affected me. Doing this whole project, all of the things we've done, it's affected me on a very small scale. But even that has caused me certain amounts of frustration and pain and whatnot. this documentary is gonna be interesting, but I want to hear your thoughts on this now, anyway.
If I were to ever want to know about any of that shit, this documentary probably is what I want to know, which is how do the people at the top feel? Because I don't give a shit about all the people who are not at the top and how they feel. I'm not at the top. I know how I feel. I don't need to know how other people feel about it. But like, would I like to know what the drawbacks of being that famous? I mean, that's ultimately, like, I think you and I can say this right now. Ultimately, we would like to be up there at some point, right? Like, that's our dream.
Yeah, to live up
so
there.
it's like,
yeah.
So like my thing though is my struggle before we even get there is I enjoy my privacy. I don't want like 150 million followers on all my social platforms. I want just the people I actually like.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like all the stuff they have to give up, I don't know if I would ever be willing to pay that price, or at least wholly, and just having a documentary about it, you know, let me see at least the bad side of it so I can try to weigh out should I go for this or not. It actually does appeal to me. It looks like it's well made too, you know what I mean? Not like some junky Super 8 film or something.
Do you know what's funny? It sounds like, not even in a roundabout way, you're saying that we personally, as content creators, as what we're doing, could actually benefit from this. If this might be our future, we can probably learn from this as well, because, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely, because there's a lot of decisions these people made and a lot of sacrifices they chose that they didn't necessarily have to, getting to where they are, that we can not copy.
Hey man, you know, I agree with you. Privacy for me is a bit different, just because the London is very weird at privacy. Like, a lot of our stuff is out there. CCTV cameras are everywhere. We opt into a lot of things. People think America is bad. London is just as bad. It can even be worse. If you work in a certain government, I'm going to put something out there. There was a time I was working for a company that I could find out anyone's information in the country. And it wasn't even a security company. I worked for a security company as well. But I was working for a retail company. They had records on almost everyone in the country.
Holy shit! A retail company?
Yeah, I can't name it, obviously, for my own reasons.
No, obviously, but that's so surprising, though. I mean, like, you always hear how your information is being sold to different things, like, and you know, retail is one of them. But just to imagine that they would have that much information, you can just look it up.
Not
from
surprising.
being in their company is
well,
like, it's not surprising that they have it. It's surprising, like, what level were you in that company?
Again, I'm gonna be a bit vague. Let's say if the levels for 1 to 5, I was on 3, in the middle.
Okay, so you're like in the middle. That's not terrible, but I still wouldn't imagine that kind of information would be given to somebody in the middle.
To be honest with you, it was just names and addresses, but that's still a lot.
That's a very much a lot. I don't want people to know my address, of course, personally speaking.
Because if I knew your name off Facebook's, then I could find your address. That's basically everything, if you ask me. That's the biggest privacy breach. I'd rather you know my credit card so I can cancel, rather than you know where I live, you know.
And then you could like wait outside and murder me or something.
Yeah, but things are different in this country anyway. But anyway, with this, because we can have a conversation just about the innards of what this means, and, you know, this age where, what I will say is this, in relation to how this relates to my life, and what I would say is, just like you said, I don't really want to become super famous. All I want is to earn enough money that this could just take care of all my wants and needs. And that isn't a lot.
You're good with a middle class life.
Yeah. This is our full-time job, just doing shows, all the, you know, as much as we don't need to do it every day. We could relatively do it in a reasonable amount, you know, 3 times a week, and we're fed and all bills paid and stuff like that.
Not at 1 a.m. for you.
Even so, if this was all I had to do, it's not a bad job for 3 hours.
That's true, yeah. If you didn't have any other obligations.
Exactly. That's my job, 3 hours on a podcast. You know, that's not bad. So it's going to be interesting to see. And ironically, this just came out on Netflix today at the time of recording, so you can actually watch this now. So maybe the next recording we'll do is our discussion on this, the American Meme.
Hey, I wouldn't hate that. I mean, if you want me to watch a documentary, I'll do it. I like that, you know, when we used to do the documentary thing.
To be fair, actually, I tell a lie. since we did this podcast, we did watch and talk about a documentary, the cop one that you referenced, and we did the big.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did. I
Yeah.
love that one though. That was just a really cool recording because
It
we
was
talked
really
about
important.
that.
Yeah, it did. I did put it on Instagram as well. So, can you remember the name of that so we can actually give people the context of what it was called? Okay, it was the NYPD 12. Is that right? Or the N?
It was about the NYPD 12, but it's called something else. I want to say something would do with justice.
Yeah, but anyway, we are about to wrap up the podcast, and you know what? I got the theme. I got the theme. What do we? We end the podcast on?
Did you ever do a story time, or is it what we learned?
Why haven't you learned anything?
Exactly.
There we go. Yeah. Why haven't we learned anything?
I was waiting. So, is there anything you've learned this week that really stands out? I've learned something. To be honest with you, what I learned is kind of a story time in itself, to be honest with you. And it's kind of semi-serious, but I'll let you go first this time.
I learned that documentary is called Crime and Punishment.
Why are you doing what Stanley does?
No, because I wanted people to know what we were talking about, though. So, what did I learn? Wow.
Okay, people, this is an editor's note. We actually scrapped the What We Learned segment. We actually recorded because I think we could do a bit better. And Catface actually messaged me afterwards saying he had a different idea. So let's just scrap what we did, what you guys are not going to hear, and let's go with something else. Now, Catface is about to tell you something about KFC, and in the vein of that, so am I. And it's also Christmas time, people. So let me tell you this. In Japan, did you know that, or what I learned, is that they love to celebrate Christmas with Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, the Japanese love KFC for Christmas. There's a BBC article on it. And if they don't pre-order their chicken for Christmas, if they don't pre-order the KFC for Christmas, there's actually a line to get the chicken. Why do they like chicken so much? Fried chicken in Japan for Christmas? Well, you know what? We might speak about it on the next episode. But if you want to quickly Google it, go to the BBC website. There's a big article on it. I thought it was pretty hilarious. And the Catface has got another little KFC learning moment as well. So take it away.
So I kind of blanked on the what have you learned segment because I actually knew this going in. We were going to talk about a little bit more. That was my plan, but then Don wants to scrap it. We have enough already. So did you know that KFC has fire logs that smell like fried chicken? So for the holidays, if you don't want your house to smell like peppermint or like pine needle, you can have it smell like fried chicken. And it's made from 100% recycled materials. What those materials are, I don't know. But hey, you know what? Now you learn too.
Guys, if you're listening to the show and you got anything else you want to teach us, because oh boy, I don't think the Catface is learning a lot. And even am I. If you've got anything you want to share with us, any lessons learned, why don't you go to thevoicemail.com, drop us a voicemail, or hit us up on Twitter. That's VOM Podcast at VOM Podcast, or me at Don Tyro, or at _old boy. That's all our Twitter handles, and I'll just leave the floor for you. If the Catface got anything else to say before I let him go to his kitty box.
Promo, please send in that audio clip. Love you. Shouting you out right now. He's I mean, he doesn't really need it. He's got like 100,000 followers or something, which is why I need you. Help me out here. What else? Love my wife. Wife. I love my wife. Looking forward to getting married for reals.
Okay.
Having her on the podcast too.
Awesome. That's so sweet, by the way. Damn, so sweet.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it at least once. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, "Why don't you ever talk about me on the fucking podcast?" So, getting that out of the way right now.
I mean, your wife owns me as well because she's paying for our services right now. So I really appreciate that.
That's true. Yeah, she is.
All right, let's get the hell out of it, guys. Thanks for listening. You know where to go. Voicemail.com. You can reach us there. All our social medias are there. Leave us a voicemail. Appreciate you. And thanks for joining me as always, Catface Killer.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, it was fun.
No problem, man. I will see your Catface in 2019. But guys, we'll see you next episode for the last show of 2018. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you later.
Yeah, see you later. That's if we make it to 2019, by the way. I mean,
God
what if they
damn
start
it.
making all these genetic monsters with the genome splicing?
God damn you, man.
Target acquired.
You're the only one that's going to die.